a while ago. We only heard you.
Yeah, I don't know. I could hear them, but I couldn't see them. And
right.
then when we could see them, we couldn't hear them.
Oh.
So I don't know what's going on, which is normally crazy. Anyways, let's go ahead and see, and they should join us back.
And we kept getting kicked out. Do you know why?
Go ahead.
We kept getting kicked out of the system. Do you know why?
Yeah, I actually was rebooting it to try to see if we could get a better signal and when we pick them back up.
Okay, so probably that's the reason why.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping that was the case. I didn't want to do it without that, but I have, oh man, a tremendous amount. And the Ukraine lady was here too, so I have their videos as well. I have probably 50 videos here. So go ahead and Mary, if you want to start, and then we'll have a lot of time to show some other ones while we're waiting on India. Well,
should we wait for the other schools to dial back in?
Yeah, we can go ahead. If we just want to introduce your school to everybody, and then we'll go around and we'll introduce who's here right now, and then we'll get back on the order. Go ahead, Mary, and then we'll go down to Brazil, and then we'll go to the other school. Go ahead.
Or perhaps we can introduce Taiwan first.
Yeah.
Or we can try the video that time.
Yeah, try the video. See if it works.
Michael.
Yes.
Michael, we are still waiting for the other schools to dial in. We can show the video that we showed last week. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can also check the audio and visual for all sides to see if they can see our video. If you can hear and see our video, please give us a thumbs up. Okay, so we have thumbs up from USA.
美丽的岛屿，张开双手欢迎你，美食和热情，没有人能抗拒。台湾会是你难忘的旅程，让所有美梦成真。一拉佛蒙萨，台湾 will touch your heart。一拉佛蒙萨。Taiwan will touch your heart.心に触れる麗しの島不思議な巡り合い憧れの旅いらぽもさ Taiwan will touch your heart いらぽもさ Taiwan will touch your heart美好风景在你身边，温 份热情在心里面，这将会是你丰收的旅程。Yeah， 让所有期待成真。伊拉和梦想，台湾 will touch your heart。伊拉和梦想，台湾 will touch your heart。伊拉和梦想，台湾 will touch your heart。台湾 will touch your heart。
Mary, I just love that one. Okay, we're gonna go to Bursra, Turkey, and then we're gonna go to India, then we'll go back to Mary, okay?
Okay, so we will stay muted and you'll come back to us later. Thank you.
Thank you. Bursra, Turkey, please. Go ahead.
Hello, Michael. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, you look great. Let me introduce us first. All right?
Yes.
Okay. Here is Eileen, teacher.
Hello, Mike. How are you doing?
Fine.
Hold on.
She's the boss here. She's our teacher. And Berkin here. He's called Berkin, and he's doing with computer stuff. He's helping with us. And here is Utku. He also has presentation, but he'll present it after me. So I'll start first. And I'm Fatih. Yeah. Let's get started if you're ready.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I'll share my screen.
Okay.
Did you get it?
Yes. Well, we do now.
No?
It's good.
Okay. All right then. It's the village bread, we call it. It's basically the sort of bread of Bursa. So let's get started. Listen up. The main course of making village bread. Firstly, a sourdough starter is made for the purpose of making a loaf of sourdough bread. Then the active starter is mixed with flour, warm water, and sugar. After mixing step, the dough is kneaded until no flour remains. Dough is covered and waited for an amount of time. After shaping the dough, it is waited for a little more, and for the last step, the shaped loaf is baked in a stone oven. Here's some pictures of the course. Here, first two are the starter, leaven, dough, and the bread, as you can see. Sourdough starter. Here's some ingredients and equipments. Ingredients: all-purpose flour or a mix of all-purpose and whole grain flour, water, preferably filtered. For the equipments, 2 quart glass or plastic container, scale or measuring cups, mixing spoon, plastic wrap or clean kitchen towel. Here's the instructions for the starter. Making sourdough starter takes about 5 days. Each day the starter is fed with equal amounts of fresh flour and water. As the wild yeast grows stronger, the starter becomes more frothy and sour-smelling. On average, this process takes about 5 days, but it can take longer depending on the conditions of the place it is made. As long as bubbles and signs of yeast activity is seen, it is continued feeding regularly. Yeah, that's all. Day 1, making the initial starter. 4 ounces all-purpose flour, 4 ounces water. Flour and water is weighed and combined in the container. It is stirred vigorously until combined into a smooth batter. The sides are scraped down and the container is loosely covered with plastic wrap or with a clean kitchen towel secured with a rubber band. The container is put somewhere with a consistent room temperature of 70 to 75 and let it sit for 24 hours. Day 2, feed the starter. In day 2, a few small bubbles may see. The bubbles mean that wild yeast have started making themselves in the starter. They will eat the sugar in the flour and release carbon dioxide and alcohol. they will also increase the acidity of the mixture, which helps fend off any bad bacteria. At this point, the same course which has done in the same step, which has done in day 1, is done again with no changes. Day 3, with the starter. In day 3, the surface of the starter should look dots with bubbles, and it should look visibly larger in volume. It should also start smelling either source and musty. And again, the same course which has done in day 1 and day 2 is done again with no changes. For day 4, feed the starter again. By now, the starter should be looking very lovely with large and small bubbles, and it should be doubled in volume. It should also be smelling quite sour and pungent, and it is taste sour and somewhat vinegary. And for the last time, the same step which has done in day 1, day 2, and day 3 is done again with no changes. And for the last day, day 5, starter is ready to use. The starter should has doubled in bulk since day 4. By now, the starter should also be looking very bubbly, even frothy. If everything is good, the starter is considered as ripe and ready to use. Yeah, day 5 and beyond, maintaining the starter. Once the starter is ripe, for the purpose of maintaining the starter, about half of the starter is discarded or used. The remaining and the discarded part of the starter are fat with new flour and water, and the same things. Water and flour is weighed and combined in a container with the starter and stirred vigorously until combined into a smooth batter. Yeah, the leaven. Instructions for the leaven are followed by the sourdough starter is already made, and it's time to make the leaven. This leaven is ultimately what gets mixed into the dough. It is made with a tablespoon of the active starter and a specific amount of flour, warm water, and sugar. You also can see the pictures. The active starter is mixed and stirred with a specific amount of flour, warm water, and sugar in a deep container until it is fermented. There won't be any certain amounts of something because you don't usually bake only one bread. It's basically up to your stone oven. If it's big, you just bake much more. So there won't be any certain amounts. You understand. Making the dough step. Instructions for it. Making the dough step starts after making the leaven. In this step, briefly, the leaven is mixed with some flour, water, salt, and it is kneaded and folded. Then it is waited for a while before and after shaping it. Here's the pictures. Preparing the dough. The leaven is mixed with a specific amount of water, flour, and salt. The mixture is stirred with a wooden spoon, then it is kneaded and folded until the consistency becomes completely soft. Resting the dough. After preparing the dough, it is covered with a damp cloth and waited until it is doubled in size. This step will take about 4 to 6 hours. These hours are up to the season. If it's winter, then it generally waits for about 4 hours, but if it's summer, it waits about 6 hours. During this time, enzymes in the flour start to break down the starch into simpler sugar, which become food for the yeast and bacteria in the leaven, and also make the bread more flavorful, as we all know. Yeah, shaping and resting the dough step. The doubled inside dough is taken and it is shaped on a floury floor. Touching the dough disturbs the fermentation, so the shaped dough is again covered with a damp cloth and it is waited for 1 to 2 hours. Yeah. And for the last step, baking. Instructions for baking. It's time to prepare the stone oven since the dough is ready for baking. In this last step, shortly the stone oven is prepared and the dough is baked. Okay, go ahead. Preparing the stone oven, burning. firstly. The stone oven should be covered before it is burned, so firstly the little window of the oven is closed. I don't know whether you have it or not, but we have a small window on our stone oven, so it is closed.
Wow.
Then spindly, yeah, we have. Then spindly sticks are put into the oven little by little, and they are burnt. After the bricks of oven turned into red flame color, putting sticks into the oven is stopped. Preparing the oven, the stone oven, getting ready to bake. After burning step, the ashes are pulled from the oven with a spade. Then inside of the oven is cleaned with a swab on a long stick, and it is ready to bake breads in it. Baking the bread. The bread-shaped dough is placed inside of the stone oven with a bread wooden peel. Then the little window of the stone oven is opened, and the entrance of the oven is closed. After waiting 30 minutes, the entrance of the oven is opened again. The last step. After the sort of bread is baked, it is removed from the stone oven with the bread wooden peel. Then, for the last step of baking a sort of bread, it is covered with a dry, clean cloth, and it is waited for half an hour. Then it is ready to be eaten. Here, that's all for me. Here is the name of our school and source where I got all this information and pictures. Yeah, thanks for listening, Michael.
Oh, thank you. That was very interesting. Thank you so much. Now, does everyone have an oven like that?
Sorry?
Okay. How many ovens are like that?
To present?
No, to cook the bread, does everyone have an oven like that?
I don't understand what you mean. What you mean?
Alan? How common is having those big ovens like that, open ovens?
Ne kadar yaygın böyle büyük fırınlarda fırınların olması.
You ask about who makes it or something like that?
Yeah, that'd be close. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's very common.
Wow.
Really, yeah. We can go to a bakery and buy this one. So almost every bakery bakes this.
It bakes the same way, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Taiwan has a question as well.
Go, Mary.
Question?
Yes.
Will that bread have a special smell or taste if you put a dough in a stone oven instead of normal oven?
Did you get the question?
No, I haven't got it.
Okay,
Can you write it? I can't hear. It's my problem. It's about the computer. Can you please write it?
Yeah.
So you're not able to hear us?
No, not at all.
Mary, just go ahead and type in the chat, please.
Yeah, please.
We cannot type it onto the.
Okay, tell me and I'll type it.
Okay, the student is asking whether it would make a difference to the flavor if the bread is baked in a stone oven or a regular oven.
No, of course it does. Yes.
Yeah, stone ovens are really good. In the United States, we do a lot of pizzas and stuff, and it gets a lot hotter and bakes a lot faster and it gets a whole different texture.
Yeah, exactly. That's all for my presentation. If you're right.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
and we sure appreciate you coming in today. And you can stay and watch some of the others, and you can ask questions too if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. But first,
Do you have a question?
Okay, go ahead.
We have another question.
What?
For this one,
No, he's got one
Yes.
more.
Yeah, we have one more question. Go.
Okay,
How
go.
high is the
Okay.
temperature you need to bake the bread when putting into your oven?
Mary, repeat that, please.
How high is the temperature we need to bake the bread when putting into an oven?
Turkey, what's the temperature?
yeah, temperature in Turkey. Currently, it's about 25 to
No.
30 degrees.
Yeah, the temperature in the oven.
Yo, look. I understand. I wrote it down here. Wait, I'll show you. It should be after the brick of the oven turned into red flame color. You don't know the temperature. You just get it from the color
Right.
from bricks. Okay?
It's
Thank you.
over. It's over 1,000 degrees.
Yeah, we can tell a specific temperature, you know.
Okay, go ahead. Go do your second one then, please.
Okay. Geçten tekrar. Şuradan. Aç ekran paylaşımı. Şuradan paylaşırsın. Tamam. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
We're doing fine. Go ahead.
All right. I have divided the slide to 3 parts to make it more understandable. Now the contents are pre-requirements, recipe, and lastly, the things that you need to be careful about while making the bread. I will talk about pre-requirements first. You need 2 cups of warm water, 1/4 cup of sugar, 1½ tablespoons of active dry yeast, 1½ teaspoons of salt, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, 6 cups of bread, a KitchenAid, and a Nestle loaf pan. Now explain its recipe. Firstly, in a large bowl of stand mixer, combine water, sugar, and yeast. Set aside for 5 minutes to allow the yeast to get foamy. Then add salt and oil to yeast mixture and stir to combine. Using dough hook while the mixer is running on low speed, add flour 1 cup at a time until all 6 cups have been added. Increase speed to medium and knead the dough for 5 minutes. Then place dough in a large oiled bowl and roll the ball around until it's covered in the oil. Cover with a clean kitchen towel and allow to rise in a warm place until doubled in size, and it takes about an hour. After that, punch down dough, knead for 3 minutes, divide in half and shape into 2 loaves. Place dough into greased 9 by 5 inch bread pans. Cover and let dry for 30 minutes. Lastly, bake at 175 to 200 degrees Celsius for about 13 minutes or until the loaves are golden brown. Remove from pans and allow to cool. Now I will explain the things that you need to be careful about while making the bread, and I will also give you some advices to make a better bread. Firstly, the milk or the water that you use to melt the yeast must be cooler than the room temperature. Very hot or very cold ingredients damage the bread consistency and taste. To give a bread a shape, knead the dough with wet hands. To give a shape on top of the bread, submerge a knife to the hole. You can make the process faster by using a mixer. Also, use of wet yeast. While making a bread at home, if you put boiled and crushed potatoes inside, you will increase the bread staling time. Make sure your yeast is in date. Dry yeast should keep for a few months, but really old yeast won't work, and your hard work will have been in vain. The quality of the flour can make a real difference to your loaf. Different brands do vary. Extra strong or Canadian flours, which are naturally higher in gluten, may give you a better rise than standard bread flours, especially if you are making a wholemeal bread, which doesn't always rise as well as white bread. While making a bread, you can use whole wheat flour instead of white flour. That will make the bread tasty and more healthy. The salt makes yeast to ferment faster, but if you use too much salt, you will not be able to get a good taste. Enjoy your newly made bread. That's all of me. Thanks for listening. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? Do people make very much homemade bread in Turkey?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah. Do your parents make homemade bread at home, or do you buy it?
Sometimes.
Okay.
No questions then?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay. Let's go ahead.
No, you keep going.
No. Did you? That was your last presentation, correct?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
We are finished.
Okay. Good. Stay around and I guess go ahead, Taiwan.
Yeah, sure.
Mary.
Okay, so do we have a question for Turkey before we begin?
Go.
Will you eat this as a breakfast?
Hey, Turkey. Could
yeah. I got the question. You asked for both of them?
No, he.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We eat them in breakfast.
Doesn't matter.
So you eat it with a main course, is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have another question?
No problem.
I think we have one more question. Hurry.
Hurry.
Okay, go ahead.
How often do you eat the bread?
Can you hear that?
No, we didn't get it.
Louder.
How often do you eat the bread?
How expensive?
How often?
How often do we eat
Bread like that.
Yes.
bread like that? In every meal? Really?
Always.
Yeah.
Every meal.
We actually eat a lot of bread. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you. If you could stop your screen share and then Taiwan go to yours, please.
Okay, so we will, at the beginning, we'll tell you a little bit about our school and the location. So we will begin with the introduction of Taiwan and where our school is. So,
Hello, we are the affiliated high school of National Zhongxin University. And Taiwan is located in Asia, which is next to China. And our school lies in the central part of Taiwan, Taichung. And there are almost about 1,700 students in our school, and from 10th to 12th graders. But today there are only 10th and 11th graders not here.
And we also are joined by another school, Zhongxin Junior High School. So you see Zhongxin Junior High School. Yeah, so we are very honored to have them join us today. Thank you. And now let's move on to our first slide. Today in Taiwan, we will be introducing 3 types of bread. They are the Taiwanese style. We will introduce one bread for the Taiwanese style and one for the traditional Chinese bread. And also the third kind is innovative bread. The kinds that people have cultural mixes so that they are, a lot of the bread in Taiwan are influenced by Western culture, and so there is novelty bread or innovative bread. And so we will begin with the first kind, which is Taiwanese bread.
Mom is making peach buns.
Mama, what are you doing?
I'm making peach buns. In Chinese, it's called 寿桃. Today is your grandma's birthday. Do you know why peach buns are served on birthdays?
Of course, peach buns symbolize long life. Make peach buns.
Now we'll explain how to make peach buns.
Ingredient for making peach buns. All-purpose flour, 150 grams. Cake flour, 50 grams. Bean paste, 200 grams. Yeast, 1/3 teaspoon. Milk, 120 milliliters. Sugar, 20 grams. Salt, 1 gram. A dash of red food dye, optional. Instructions. Step 1. Mix flour, yeast, sugar, and salt in a bowl. Pour the milk in a bowl slowly. And knead the dough in a bowl. Step 2. Divide the dough into smaller blocks and knead them into balls. Press the dough flat. Stuffing it with bean paste. Roll up the dough and roll it into the shape of the peach. Step 3. Put the peach buns on baking paper. Then put them into food steamer. Then cover the lid for the dough to ferment for 40 minutes. Step 4. After the fermentation is completed, steam the peach bun for 12 minutes. After about 9 minutes, open the lid for a small gap to let up heat. Turn off the heat when turned off. Wait for 3 minutes, then open the lid. Taste.
The peach buns are done. We should let someone taste our peach buns before giving them to Grandma.
Excuse me.
Would you like to try our homemade peach buns?
My pleasure. Wow, I have never eaten peach buns for a long time. Your peach bun triggers so many memories from my childhood.
Peach bun is my favorite Taiwanese delicacy. It tastes delicious. When I take a bite of it, my mouth is filled with the rich aroma of milk and bean stuffing.
Since our peach bun tastes great, we can give them to Grandma as a present. Let's go.
Grandma's house.
Surprise! Happy birthday, Grandma!
Grandma, this is for you.
Oh, thank you. See here. This peach bun is not just a gift. It's also about symbolic idea. You are right. People in Taiwan serve peach buns on birthday occasion to wish birthday person a long, happy life. If you have chance to visit Taiwan, you must give 寿桃 a try.
That's all for our presentation.
Thank you for your attention.
Did you have any questions? We will take 1 or 2 questions.
So before we move on to the second part, we can take 1 or 2 questions from other sites.
Anyone have a question? Unmute and does anyone have a question? Okay. No question? Go ahead.
Steam buns originated from the northern parts of China. When immigrants came to Taiwan, they also brought this special food culture along. People switched to using a cooker instead of oven to make steam buns.
Now we will explain how to make steam bombs. To make steam bombs, we need 260 milliliters of water, 500 grams of yeast, 500 grams of all-purpose flour, 25 grams of sugar, 5 grams of cooking oil.
Step 1. Dissolve sugar in the warm water. Step 2. Powder the yeast evenly on a flat surface but don't stir it. The surface will become spumous after 10 minutes. Pour the yeast mixture into the flour and stir it at the same time. Then add the cooking oil into the previous flour mixture. Step 3. Knead the dough until it turns smooth. Step 4. Wrap up the dough with a plastic wrap and wait for 5 minutes. Pound the kitchen counter with the flour. Step 5. Roll the dough on the counter with a rolling pin. Shape it into a rectangle and fold into 3 folds. Remember to brush off the extra flour on the overlap. Then, brush on a little water so that the dough will stick together. Step 6. Roll the dough into a cylindrical shape. Remember to knead with the same thickness. Step 7. Cut the dough into 6 equal parts and place them on the wax paper. After that, put the dough into the steamer to ferment for 30 minutes. Step 8. Steam for 15 minutes, then let out the heat slowly for about 3 to 5 minutes.
Finally, set steam bombs aside to cool. If you want to make different flavors of steam bombs, you can put different ingredients into the dough. Then you can enjoy all kinds of steam bombs. Now we will show you the actual food.
This is the taro flavor. This is the milk and egg flavor. Can you see the actual food?
Yes, I'm showing it now. It's not real big.
I know. They're gonna tear it open.
Wow.
Next, we are going to talk about steam buns with filling. Actually, it is a kind of steam buns with stuffing. There are 2 kinds of fillings. One is meat, like beef or pork, and the other is sweet fillings, like sesame paste, red beans, etc. Its origin can be traced back to the wartime in China. To make steam buns with filling, please prepare following ingredients. We need 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/3 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 2/3 cup of lukewarm water, and we need 1/2 pound of ground pork, salted and drained, 1 tablespoon of cooking oil, 2 minced scallions, and 1/3 cup of water for filling. And we also need 3 teaspoons of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of oyster sauce, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch for seasoning. Now we will explain how to make steam buns with filling.
Step 1. Mix flour, sugar, baking powder, and water together and roll it into dough. Then ferment for 30 minutes. Step 2. Stir fry onions and pork and add water and seasoning. After that, simmer it until the sauce becomes thick. Pour the contents onto a plate and set aside to cool. Step 3. Roll the fermented dough into a small ball and then compress it to form dough into a disc.
Step 4. Put a tablespoon of filling onto the center of the disc. Pinch together the dough firmly to wrap the filling inside. Finally, steam for 10 minutes. Do not penetrate to burn the dough. Now, we will show you the actual food.
Wow, that's
ECR, yeah, okay, good.
You can try to make it yourself. Thanks for your attention.
Do you have any questions on this part?
anyone have any questions?
I have. Hello? Hello?
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
I have a question. How? Hello?
Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes.
How often do you eat this kind of bread? Every day? Once a week?
How often do you eat this kind of bread?
Usually once a week.
And people usually eat it
In breakfast.
for breakfast. Sometimes for snacks, you can also get it at convenience stores.
Okay, that seems very delicious.
Thank you. Do you have any other questions for us?
No, go ahead.
Next, we have innovative bread.
We just shared many kinds of traditional bread, which are known by everyone in Taiwan. However, as the eating habits change, what consumers want are not only how the food smells or tastes like, but the exquisite appearance of food. Nowadays, there is more and more innovative bread, which marks its own trend. Through the internet, the novelty bread becomes famous. For example, the watermelon toast and rice bread are so famous that everyone in Taiwan knows about them. Today, we will introduce a creative Taiwan baker called Pao Chun-woo.
Pao Chun-woo was born in Pingdong, Taiwan. He represented Taiwan in the World Cup bread contest and won a champion in 2010. After that, he opened his first bakery, Pao Chun-woo My Fun Bakery in Kaohsiung. Pao Chun-woo's specialty is his bread with Taiwan logan and red wine, as well as lychee rose champion bread. Logan and lychee are actually common fruits in Taiwan. First, I will introduce lychee rose champion bread. When Wu participated in a French bread competition, he saw French people eating lychee as dessert. Thus, he began to think about how to combine lychee and rose with bread. Fortunately, he succeeded in the development of the lychee rose champion bread. When chewing on the bread, you can sense the rich aroma of lychee and rose.
The first innovative European bread from Taiwan is oat bread of Taiwan logan with red wine. This is one of the most famous bread he made. It is very chewy and full of wine aroma. Wu's motivation for making this bread, and the reason why he joined the competition, was because he often remembered his mom steaming the logan glutinous rice cake for his family. The logan bread symbolizes love from his mother, and baking provides a feeling of happiness to him.
Wu used preserved logan, which is a well-known ingredient in Taiwan, instead of resin, which is widely used in Western countries. Pao Chun-woo always say, being a champion just for a moment, however, to learn is forever. He keeps learning and creating and combines bread with local ingredients. What's more, he touches everyone's heart with his bread.
We will now introduce Taiwanese longer muffin and explain how it is made. The original taste of Taiwanese muffin is plain. If we add a delicious and nourished longer, it also provides a more unique taste. To make longer muffin, we need 150 grams of longer, 200 milliliters of yogurt drinks, 300 grams of flour, 4 eggs, 70 milliliters of cooking oil, walnut, optional, 1 teaspoon of baking soda.
First, put logan and yogurt drink into a pot and turn on the stove to low heat. After that, put it aside to cool. Second, sift the flour and baking soda and then stir them evenly. Third, beat the eggs and sugar together with an electric mixture until mixture becomes light and fluffy. Fourth,
Pour the previous flour mixture into sugar mixture. Fifth, add the longan, yogurt drink, and some walnuts. Then put the previous paste into the mouth, and then finally put into the oven and then bake for 20 minutes. Cool and serve. That's all. Thank you. Do you have any question for us?
Any questions?
Yes.
I guess not. Go. Thank you so much.
Do you have questions for us, Michael?
No, on the last, how popular is that type of bread in Taiwan? The last innovative breads.
How popular is the bread from Wu Baochun's bakery? How popular is it in Taiwan?
In Taiwan, everybody know it.
Yeah, everybody knows about this famous baker, and actually, the bread there is a little bit more expensive than most regular bread, right? Yes.
Oh yeah, I thought I could kind of sense that. So that's why I was just wondering, you know, I mean, would it be a treat to eat there, or it would be like a lot of tourists go, or you have to be very well off, or what?
Yeah, or you can eat it every once in a while, okay, because it's it's I think 4 or 5 times. No, the price is 4 or 5 times higher than the regular ones.
Okay, that's right. It's not like a daily thing unless you're very wealthy.
Yes, that is correct.
It looks delicious though. Yeah, that's the only thing bad about virtual. I guess you could wish you could eat, you know. So let's go ahead and I'll get off of this. Thank you so much. And I think Brazil is going to do theirs. And then after Brazil, I have a lot of ones from India that I'm going to do from here. So go ahead, Brazil, if you want to.
Aqui, ó.
Hello, my name is Pedro.
Hello, my name is Lucas.
And we're gonna talk about Brazilian breads and sandwiches.
Deus abençoe a vida.
Brazilian breads and sandwiches. There is an old story from 1839, time of the popularity of bread that in Brazil, that tells the reaction of an old man who thought the bread was a fruit. The man peeled the bread and just ate the crumbs. He did not like that new kind of food. Maybe that's why Brazilians don't have the custom to make bread at home. We don't have the habit to eat many kinds of bread. Usually it's 1 or 2 kinds of bread. Breads are common for breakfast and afternoon coffee. Breakfast and afternoon coffee. Deixa eu tirar isso aqui, sorry. Tira pra mim. Thank you. Our breakfast is simple compared to other countries. It's common to spread margarine or butter on the bread. It's also common to put ham, mozzarella, mortadella, cheese, mayonnaise, and pate. On Sundays, holidays, or special days, we can find a variety of foods such as cakes, cookies, juice, yogurt, and eggs on our breakfast.
Sorry.
Okay. Bread roll. It's we call pão de sal or pão francês.
In Portuguese.
In Portuguese, sorry.
It's the same of salt bread or French bread.
Yes.
In Portuguese, the translation.
This is the most common bread in Brazil. It's sold at bakeries and certainly the most consumed in the country.
We eat this bread every day. In the huh? In every time.
Loaf. In Portuguese, we call pão de forma. Most common for the preparation of grilled ham and cheese or in vegetarian sandwiches.
I think it's the most healthy bread to eat in Brazil. I think so.
We have the long bread, baguette in Portuguese, common for making long sandwiches that like that one sold at Subway franchise.
Nope.
Passei pra mim, peraí. Okay. Sourdough bread, or pão sovado in Portuguese. It is not the sweetheart of Brazilians, but it's very common for people who do not buy bread every day. It is a convenient bread to stock. Ball cheese, pão de queijo in Portuguese. Typical of our state, ball cheese is a delicious delicacy that has passed generations. Very commercialized in supermarkets, but still the traditional preparation.
It's a regional culture, cousin culture.
Sweetbreads, pão doces. Eventually, Brazilians do not know the specific name of all the sweetbreads. We consume less if related to salt bread, but still very consumed. When we want sweetbreads, we specify with a characteristic of bread. For example, we arrive at the bakery and we say, I want to sweet bread with some coconut on the top, or sweet bread with cream in the top, etc. Cream bread, pão com creme, it's a common bread roll. It is the children passion.
This 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 cream it's made with egg, but it's sweet. It's a delicious.
Marta Rocha. It has the same idea as cream bread. However, it's much more caloric because it has much more cream. It is still baked in condensed milk and coconut. The commercialization of Marta Rocha is very common, but the price is a little expensive compared to the others. Hot dog bread, pão doce. Perhaps it's the most common and cheapest bread. People usually eat it with butter and cheese. Potato bread, pão de batata in Portuguese. This bread is made of potatoes and wheat flour. It is very tasty and has a soft flavor.
I will say about the cakes. The cake it's more common to made in our houses than bread. And nowadays, in the main cities, in the big cities, the technology give us the possibilities to semi-finished preparations because everybody have a busy life, you know. So, but in the countryside and of course in big city too, it's possible we find some peoples that prepare these every cakes in by handmade, including the wood-fired oven. And the first one it's broa de fubá. It's a delicious kind of cake, and it's made with cornmeal. Yes, it's a cornmeal. It's made by cornmeal, and you can put coconut on the ingredient. A carrot with chocolate rough cake, It's a cake with of made by with I'm sorry, with carrot and have chocolate around the cake. Yeah, or on the top of the cake. This one it's a pineapple cake with white chocolate. It's my preferred cake, but it's two parties. It's a so sweet cake, but we can break the sweet with the acidity of the pineapple. Sandwich, burger, and hot dogs. Our sandwich and burgers and hot dogs is a little different of the American culture because we don't have a standard for make our sandwiches. More more ideas do you have to sandwich better is the first one is the misto quente, is the most simple sandwich. It's a bread with ham and or I or mozzarella cheese, and you can put butter too. And we use the toaster to make that. And we can with drink coffee or chocolate. Hot dog. The hot dog in Brazil, it's regional, and in our region, we can put everything on the hot dog. We can use corn, peas, olives, something, potatoes, parmesan, mozzarella or cheese, requeijão. Requeijão, it's a kind of Brazilian cream cheese, shredded lettuce, and diced tomatoes. Uh, what more we put inside is better. And you use ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, chunch salsa, everything on the cachorro quente. We can make big parties with just cachorro quente with just with hot dog. The burgers. In Brazil, the letter X is the same sound of the word cheese in English. For that we say cheese. For that we have a cheeseburger, or in Portuguese we say cheeseburger, uh, because of the reference of this sound. For that we have cheeseburger or cheese tudo. It's like cheese everything. We can put in everything inside the hamburger too. The meal, the lettuce, tomatoes, bacon, eggs, potato chips, and a lot of things inside. I think our hamburgers is better than American because our burgers is bigger than Americans ones. Sandwich is a reference for us of most healthy option, and we use the whole grain bread to do that, and a variety of vegetables, lemon juice, shredded chicken, tuna, and like mayo. And we have a lot of other variations to make health sandwiches too. Aí deu trequinho, professor. Greek sandwich, it is me ajudar. The Greek sandwich is made with the Greek barbecue and is the meal não, land meat, yes. And we use the bread roll to with wheat, and we can put mayo, lettuce, and tomatoes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any question?
Do you
Thank
have
you.
any questions?
Mary, you have any questions?
Do we have any questions? Yeah, we have a question.
Go ahead.
What do you eat to go with pão de queijo?
Please repeat. I don't think they understood.
The pão de queijo, it's our regional. Você quer falar, Pedro? It's our regional cuisine, right? And we can eat that every time because it's a very delicious bread because it have a lot of cheese inside the bread, you know, and we can eat every time we want.
Oh,
That's
thank
it.
you.
You're welcome.
Do you have another question?
Go ahead.
I want to ask you if the potato bread without any sauce, like strawberry or butter.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Repeat the question.
Yes.
Do you eat the potato bread without any sauce, like strawberry or butter?
What do you eat the potato bread with? Do you have it with jelly, butter, or anything?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah. Muito legal.
we are used to eat the potato bread with coffee, chocolate, and we are used to put butter with potato bread.
That's it. Eu acho que a gente respondeu, né?
Any more questions, Mary?
Well, what was the answer?
Yeah, they would eat it with, but I guess they would eat it with, like they said, but in the United States, potato bread would just be eaten like another type of bread. You can make it sandwiches or whatever. So you could do whatever you wanted to. It just got some potato and wheat together.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions? Any more questions?
Okay, now, if not, I have some special ones that the people from India sent to me, and I can show you at this time if you guys don't mind. We'll try to share with you just a second. Okay.
Ai, eu já tive apresentações melhores, viu, professora? Não pegue isso como referência, não.
This is the first one, and okay, it's got the hyperlinks. Just a second.
Ai, mais favoritos. Ai, que mais falava que era meu preferido. E ai, meu Deus, que opa. Eu falei, my preference.
Now this would be this fluffy bread that they're talking about. And this is from South India. And this be similar to some of those steamy rolls that you saw from Taiwan. And this is from northern India. It's got corn. Similar to tortillas here. States. And this bread you'll see all throughout the Middle East. And it's cooked very similar on those hot stoves like they showed in Turkey. And this is in Western India, and then they have the different sauces they put on it. I'll have all these available on the website too afterwards. I'm just trying to show you some now because they spend an awful lot of time. Now this would be similar that you would put dips and you wrap things in. Norwegians would have lefse. Thank you. That was theirs. And let's go to the next one. Excuse me.
Nossa, professora, que coisa que eu falo muito vergonha. Eu falei que uma sanduíche era americano, e o cara é americano, né? Que paia.
Yeah, Brazil, could you mute, please? Thank you. Okay, this is from the school we saw earlier that had some difficulties. They have 17 of them. It's from Delhi, India. Very, very good school. And this is their breads for India. Food for thought. And this is the history of the Indian bread. And they say it could be traced back to 1500 BC. And here we have a picture during that age in India. Over the ages, various groups of cultures interacted with India and led to a diversity of flavors. The diversity of soil types, climate, and culture, the ethnic groups, occupation, enhanced variety of bread. India is this tremendous diversity when it comes to food. And here's some picture of a bunch of different people from India. Introduction to Indian bread. A staple food made of flour, a mixture of different types of flours has been mixed with water, milk, or curd. They're made into dough or batter with yeast and leavening agents and baked. And this gives you a little bit of an idea. Here's down in Sri Lanka, formerly known as Ceylon. This is Bangladesh, formerly known as East Pakistan. And then you have all the way up into here to Kashmir and the different parts of India. Things will vary greatly and differently in different textures. To study these aspects, we researched and prepared presentations of at least one bread from each part of the country. What we concluded by studying is presenting the following slides. Different types of bread. This is the type that's been roasted or on top of the fire, very similar to like in the United States would be a tortilla. Shallow fried bread. And this is a little flatter, like almost like a pancake thing. You still put a mixture of meat or vegetables in it. Deep fried. And some of this stuff is really to die for, especially, I've seen this bread up here. I don't know if anybody's eaten it. And then we have one on each one. And on the basis of leavening, the people in Turkey went through the leavening process pretty good. You have leavened bread and unleavened bread, and they break it down there. On the basis of type of grains of flour is used. Here you see all-purpose flour, whole wheat flour, rice flour, and other grain flour, corn in the northern part of India. Conclusion. Hence, in a nutshell, we can conclude that through India's bread look different in different regions. They are very similarities with respect to their ingredients and method of preparation. Connection is found with geographical climate and livestock conditions. Another way of proving our unity is in diversity. We hypothesize the same respect to breads from the whole world and looking forward to our fellow peers' presentations from Brazil, Moscow, and Taiwan. And they have nice signs, and they have the Taiwanese, the Brazilian flag, and Russian flag, and the Indian flag. And they have thank you in many different languages. Thank you, guys. Very good job. Okay, now I have a couple more I was going to show you, and then we're going to be on with Russia pretty soon again. This is, I'll try to see if I can get better. Excuse me just a moment. I'll just go down this route while we're waiting. This is a 11 type of bread originated from the Indian subcontinent, eaten in India and Pakistan. It's made from wheat flour. It's very popular and usually eaten with chole. I can't pronounce it correct, I'm sorry. It tells you nutritional values, calories, how much sodium's in there. This tells you what it consists of. It gives you the recipe. One of the neat things about doing this would be actually to try to take some of these recipes and make them yourself at home or at school. And then it tells you what you can stuff things with. Notice they'll put all kinds, they'll put boiled potatoes, they'll put different types of powder, chilies, butter, and then it goes and explains how to do it. I'll try to take it slow. Normally when something has to be leavened, it has to be sit so the yeast will rise. And there's your boiled potatoes. And then you just put it around the potato there, and you put some black sesame seeds on top, and then you cook it. They put some coriander. Roll it out and place on a hot iron. And look, it's flat. Then they'll do like this. And they have a little butter for taste, and you would eat it. Looks very delicious. Good job, guys. Next time I'll do it like that. This is the second one they're going to present. Okay, this is Project Food for Thought, breads, chapata. Bread is staple food of flour and water, usually for baking. The portions of the flour vary. It talks a little bit about Indian breads again. This is in this part of India. It's a flat roasted unleavened bread made of millet flour, water, dough. Delicious is the storehouse nutrition is pearl millet, which is fiber rich, protein rich, and essential minerals like magnesium, iron, and phosphorus. Because of the high nutritional value, pearl millet is health benefits like lowers cholesterol, prevents gallstones, is good for diabetes type 2, prevents breast cancer, improves digestion, free from gluten for people who are gluten intolerant. Nutritional value, notice that the calorie very, very low. Traditionally, it's thickly rolled in and cooked over cow dung cake. So this is interesting. That is an authentic way of preparing it because it imparts a smoked flavor. Very similar to like the oven that we saw in Turkey, except it doesn't have a top to it. Recipe. And here you go with a really nice recipe. I'd suggest you strongly take a look at this over the time when you get to see the video and try for yourself. Really beautiful pictures here. Now they use they can fold it in Ziploc bags. Some people use that parchment paper or whatever. Here you got flat, and you flip it a couple times, and you can add sugar or brown sugar or jaggery on it. And this is what you can use it with. Should always be served hot. And we thank you very much for that. Okay, I see that Russia's on now, so let's go to Russia, and I'll go back to this after we get done with Russia. Natalia, can you hear me? Natalia, can you hear me? It's not quite ready yet. Okay, while she's getting ready, I'll go ahead and do one more of this. I'll wait until it's another type of bread from the same school in Delhi. It's a fluffy, deep-fried leavened bread from the Indian subcontinent, and it's eaten with chickpea curry. And you see oil, salt. Falls under Northern Indian cuisine. Can be used as street food. It's normally eaten in breakfast. Again, some are filled with cottage cheese and some are filled with boiled potatoes. There are 522 calories in one of those. Thank you very much. Again, this is Indian deep fried bread, pork. Deep fried flatbread made of wheat flour, typical of Bengali and different areas in northeastern regions of India. Basically made from refined wheat flour, salt, and oil. 2 cups, it gives you ingredients. Again, just like we saw the Turkish one, you cover it with a muslin cloth and keep it aside as it rises a bit. Then you throw it into a hot pan. And you'll see when it puffs up, it gets some air in it. And you would serve it hot with a curry of your choice. Okay, in collaboration, world-class schools, Project Food for Flat Bread. This is corn flour bread, northern part of India. There you see with some chili and butter on it. Is a popular Punjabi flatbread made from corn. The name is from Punjabi word, which means maize or corn. And there you see, you got coriander leaves, carom seeds, corn flour into a large bowl. Finally chop coriander leaves and carom seeds and salt. Divide in equal parts, make round balls. Looks like that. You put in a plastic Ziploc bag cut in 2 slides on the rolling board and roll it out. Place over a heated tawa or griddle and cook it for a minute. Flip it with a spatula and flip it again in about a minute. Spread over the upper side, flip and cook it till it's light brown on both sides. Transfer it to a plate and spread butter over it. And try to, you serve this hot again. There's a couple variations where you can stuff potatoes in it. And they show you how you can stuff the potatoes. There you see a demonstration being made. Again, a very good job. I wish we didn't have some technical difficulties this morning, or they would have been presented. We'll try one more before we get to, at 8 o'clock, we go to Italian. This is another PowerPoint. Let's do it this way. Indian bread's wide variety again. Different examples of Indian bread. They've gone through it. And this is this type. It's got an introduction. It's a Northern Indian specialty made by various homes in the Northern Indian belt, maybe in Punjabi. It is made either from grain flour, a combination of wheat and gram flour, seasoned with spices. Value, it's only 153 calories. Again, because it's got gram flour in it, it helps lower cholesterol, controls diabetes, helps improve health of the heart. It doesn't have gluten. Helps regulate mood and appetite and blood pressure. Process flow sheet tells you how to make it. Here's the ingredients. You have the flour, the carom seeds, the coriander seeds, and whole wheat flour. And then this is some stuff that you can put in it. Cumin, masala, chili peppers, and some nuts or something like that. I don't know. Okay, turmeric. Familiar turmeric is excellent for you. All this stuff is really good and healthy. Now the recipe is to mix wheat flour and chili powder together, turmeric powder, carom seeds, cumin powder, coriander seeds, and finally chop the green chilies. Add oil and water and rub it into the flour. You get a little of that. Then after 15 minutes, grease the dough with 1 tablespoon of oil and knead it again. Then you're gonna make smaller balls from it. Then you take each small ball and slightly go between your palms of your hands. People go back and forth. And then you roll it out to be flat, about 5-6 inches with a rolling pin. You heat the griddle over medium height, and you'll notice you have tiny bubbles in it, and you flip it over. Again, flip it again, increase it to medium so you don't burn it. Then you transfer it to a plate. You prepare the remaining the same way, the steps, and it should be served to you hot. And they put butter in between each one. You can also, things you can eat with it, mint sauce, curd, buttermilk, and there's the references. Okay, now let me see if we have time for Russia. Go ahead. Go ahead. We can't hear you. Now we can.
Hello, we are school 1357, and today we are going to tell you about bread and how to make it and Russian traditions. Wait a minute. One moment. Again, we are school 1357, and our school is situated on Bratislavska Street in the southeast of Moscow. In our school, students from 7 till 17 are happy to learn subjects such as mathematics, English, Russian language, astronomy, music, economy, history, and other subjects. Today we are going to tell you about breads and all of this.
Bread undoubtedly plays an important role in the life and diet of Russian people. We eat bread with every meal. There are a lot of proverbs and sayings about bread in Russia. Bread is the head of everything. Bread is our father. Without a piece of bread, it's a grief everywhere. And a lot of others. Bread is the head of everything. This is one of the most popular Russian sayings, one that illustrates the Russians' love and respect for this product. The respect to bread was born in the old times when people didn't have enough food. It was unacceptable to put bread onto the trash or to play with bread. An old Russian saying once that when we die, all the bread we've ever wasted will be weighed. If it turns out to be more than the weight of our body, we will go to hell. The long and severe Russian winter certainly made effective storage of food essential. Grains were ideal, and gruel or porridge was the simplest way to make grain eatable. But it was bread that defined a sense of well-being and prosperity for most Russian people. The very idea of motherland is usually associated with the taste of black bread. Russian people who live outside Russia are always missing the taste of rye bread.
Also, at the end of 2015, it was gathered 104 million tons of cereals. Actually, it's a very important part of our economy. And now we are going to tell you about rye bread.
Traditionally, Russians preferred rye bread as it was more nutritious than white bread, which was made of wheat flour and was different from its European counterparts, since it contained far more animal fats, milk, butter, eggs, which resulted in a soft crust of the Russian kalachi and saiki. Food historians write that Russians ate more bread than meat, and that a hard-working peasant would eat up to 2 pounds of bread just at lunch. Imagine that. Some researchers believe rye bread consumption to be genetically instilled in Russians, so that excluding it from the everyday diet will result in a deterioration of health and greater stress. Modern biochemistry supports this. Traditional Russian rye bread is rich in vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. Unlike cultured yeast, a sourdough starter used in Russian bread allows yeast to ferment naturally, while the lactic acid produced in the chemical reactions protects the yeast from spoiling.
The real Russian bread is made using sourdough, a ferment which has traditionally been passed on through generations. This ferment is a mix of flour and water left to ferment for weeks, so that it gets enriched with healthy local bacteria. The ferment that's used to cook bread is actually kind of do-it-yourself life form, and the older it gets, the stronger it becomes. That's why bread is such a crucial part of any meal in Russia. It is a kind of homemade, locally grown life, which is made ready to be transformed into the energy of the body. To cook your own bread, you need to create your own ferment first. Take 100 grams of flour and 100 grams of water. Mix it well until it reaches homogeneous consistency. Cover with cloth or lid with holes to let it breathe, and leave in a warm, dark place for a day or two. You can occasionally stir it so that the new life form stays alive and feels your attention and love. Once the bubbles appear at the surface, get rid of excessive liquid and add 50 grams of water and flour again. Leave for a day, stir occasionally, wait till the bubbles appear again. Repeat this procedure for a few days until the ferment is ready. It should grow twice in size. Now, when you're ready to bake, take a half of the ferment, use about 100 to 150 grams per 500 grams of flour, 2 glasses of water, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 tablespoon of honey, and 2 tablespoons of sunflower oil, if you like. Mix everything together into a nice dough and leave it alone covered with a cloth for 2 to 3 hours. Put the rest of the ferment covered with a cloth or a lid into the fridge to let it sleep. When you want to use it again, put it out 5 to 6 hours before cooking into a warm place again to wake it up. Remember that you need to feed the ferment regularly, otherwise it will turn sour.
For all its upsides, sourdough bread baking has one major drawback. It takes a long time, so it's probably not surprising that nowadays very few places do this. Nevertheless, some monasteries still bake this proper bread, just like 400 years ago. The trademark of Russian rye is the Bordinsky bread. It's a dark rye bread, flavored with coriander and caraway seeds. There are a couple of versions about how its unique taste was invented. The first is a moving tale that starts with the death of Russian war hero General Tuchkov in the Battle of Borodino in 1812. After the death of after her husband, his widow went to the battlefield to try to find his body, but she was unsuccessful. In his memory, she decided to establish a convent on the battlefield. Apparently, the nuns of this Spasa-Borodino monastery later invented the bread. Another version of the recipe's origin is more playful. A cart carrying foodstuffs was hit by a cannonball, as a result of which flour got mixed up with coriander and caraway. The taste of the bread made from this mixture was so delicious that locals decided not to leave getting the right mix to chance in the future.
In Russia, there is a very interesting tradition called bread and salt. When important, respect, or admire guests arrive, they are presented with a loaf of bread placed on a tray as a sign of hospitality. The bread and salt is a form of specially baked round bread with a salt shaker placed on the top of the bread. You can find this custom being practiced during official events and even in restaurants when you go with a group of tourists. If you are presented with the bread and salt, you should help yourself for sure. You need to break off a piece of bread, dip it in salt, and eat it with a smile. You should not refuse, or the host would get greatly offended. Bread, in many cultures, is a very revered product. Bread symbolizes wealth and abundance. Since ancient times, salt has been valued a lot in Russia, and people believe that salt offered protection from evil forces.
The bread and salt tradition appeared in Russia a long time ago. In one of the written sources, a collection of rules of the 15th century, Domostroy, we can read that the bread and salt is presented during celebratory events and at the time of mourning as well. In the Middle Ages, Russian people also believed that if enemies shared bread and salt with each other, they would become closer friends. Today, the bread and salt tradition is not practiced during everyday life, but it's still practiced at weddings, when the groom's mother greets the bride and groom. In the old days, the groom's mother presented the couple with bread and salt at the groom's family house when the bridge moved in to live. The bride and the groom break off pieces of bread, dip them in salt, and feed each other. These actions symbolize that they'll never be without the necessities of life, and they will also take care of each other. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Did you have another presentation or no?
No, we don't have.
Okay, good. Any questions? Mary, could you ask a couple questions? Then we'll go to Brazil and then Turkey. Turkey's off.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
My question is about
You can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you fine now. Just say let's let Brazil ask first and then go to Mary. Or just say Brazil. Mary, go ahead. Mary's group, go.
Okay, thank you. My question is about the regionalization of the food in the country, because Russia is the most large country in the world, and everything that you said about this culture of the bread, it's about your region or represent all the country?
No, it's about all our country. In every region, we have this tradition, and it's bread. Bread is valued in every region. So yeah, it's about all country, not about.
Wow. Thank you.
And we have a question from Taiwan. Go.
Hello.
Hello.
After seeing so many bread, actually, I'm a little bit hungry. So I want to ask you a question. Have you ever tried to bake at home? Baking? Yeah. Have you?
Do you bake your breads at home or you usually buy them at bakeries?
Yes, of course. My mom always cook bread at home, and this is very tasty.
Oh, cool.
This is rather easy to bake, but it
Like
takes a lot of
baking.
time.
They enjoy baking at home.
You enjoy baking at home, right?
Yes, we like to bake it at home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have another question?
Do you have baking classroom at school?
Yeah, baking classes at school.
No, we don't have any baking lessons at school.
Oh, and I want to know, do you have
Observatory
at school? Because you just mentioned that you have astronomy class.
Okay. Do you have observatory equipment or a classroom for that at school?
Unfortunately, we don't have an observatory. We wish we had it, but we learn astronomy only in theory.
In theory.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Any other questions from Brazil or Taiwan? Yeah, we have another question from Taiwan.
Is bread and sauce usually be decorated so gorgeous, like what the picture shows that?
So usually you told us about bread and salt, and this kind of bread usually neatly decorated, very fancy.
Yeah, this ceremony is very beautiful and it's well decorated. We usually have lots of flowers and different kinds of decorations.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Final questions? I think we're good.
Okay.
Here in Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what time you're leaving us, Mary, but we really
sign off.
Okay, we really do appreciate it. We're going to be joined at 45 after from a school from Canada. I'm going to show some more Indian and some Ukrainian PowerPoints until then.
Okay, so we'll be signing off right now. So thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moscow and Brazil, you're welcome to stay, and I'll try to show you some of these PowerPoints that were sent in. We had them earlier, but they had some really difficulties.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. We have a lesson and we need to go now.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Brazil, can you stay a while a bit, or you have to go too?
We can stay.
Okay, good. So we'll talk with you a little bit. Let me show you some of the ones that we didn't get to show earlier. So let me go screen share.
Não, tava no mudo. Agora não tá mais não.
It's one school from Delhi sending 18 of these. And I think we're about halfway through. And this is some Indian wheat bread. Try to go through it together. Somebody can pronounce it, I appreciate it, but okay. They're doing this for the Indian breads, Indian cuisines, rich tradition, many distinct and local ways of cooking. These are ones you're going to show are regional wheat flour. Wheat is a grass widely cultivated for its seed, a cereal grain, which is worldwide staple food. Wheat's an important source of carbohydrates. Show wheat flour. Different Indian breads. And we've gone through a couple of these earlier. These are the shallow fried right here, and then the deep fried breads over here. 265 calories in this bread. Sodium is relatively, and cholesterol is pretty low, so it's pretty good. This is what it looks like. About this bread is nothing but Indian bread stuffed with cottage cheese. Sounds really good. Okay, ingredients for the dough. You have whole wheat flour, cottage cheese, cumin, coriander, ginger, onions, green chilies, coriander leaves and seeds, and you salt to taste. I think it's got onion there too. This gives you how much of it for ingredients. Again, you'll have this on the website. More about the ingredients. Cumin is a common spice native from the Eastern Mediterranean and Southeast Asia. Its seeds are used in cuisines in many different cultures in both whole and ground form. It's used in traditional plant. Okay, the onion is found in every kitchen. I think we can attest to onions. Okay, coriander are very rich in vitamin C. A small amount contains phosphorus, potassium, and carotene. Ginger, ginger is really popular for health foods. It's got some very good medicinal features. Cuisine is Indian again. Takes 25 minutes to fix. You put in a small mixing bowl, you crumble the paneer. Furthermore, add the chili powder. You read that? Give it a good mix and keep the bowl aside. Then in a large mixing bowl, take 1 cup of wheat flour. Add the salt. Now add the water. Add the water you require and knead the bread for 5 minutes. And then you take the kneaded bread out and you smooth it out with a rolling pin, flatten the dough. It should be about 5 to 6 inches. And then you put it onto a hot griddle and it will look like that right there. Another perfect piece of bread. Okay. The school's done a very, very good job. I'm not doing service to how much effort they put into it. I really cannot say enough.
Michael.
Yes.
I have a question. All the presentation is on the site?
Yeah, all the presentation will be on that Canvas this afternoon, the ones that are sent in to me. And then I'll have them in PowerPoint form, and then I'll have a film of all this. My goal was to have this up on YouTube by the morning, and then have the PowerPoint. So like if you just wanted to show one PowerPoint, you could do it. If you want to show the whole film, you could do it. So that's what the idea is. And they had some real problems this morning. This is Indian bread pori. And this is different types of pori. We saw some earlier. Food for thought. What is bread? That's a good question, because bread is different in every culture. Bread is a staple food prepared from a dough of flour and water, usually by baking. It's a source of complex carbohydrates. Pori is a variation of bread, not exactly a bread as bread is baked, but pori is deep fried, eaten for breakfast or a snack, or street food in some places. Some classifications of pori: simple is a hearty dish of fried puff bread mixed with lentils and spices. It can also put spinach and cheese in it. Here's the ingredients. Again, you will notice that they will put a lot of extra very good food for you in there. I love the ginger. Methods to baking. Step 1, grind and split the black gram into coarse paste with 2 tablespoons of water. Heat a 2 tablespoon oil in a nonstick pan. Step 3, add the ginger, green chili paste, chili powder, coriander, cumin, fennel, garam masala, and dried mango powder. Add the flour, and then you're going to deep fry it in a frying pan like this. Step 6 is divide the dough into 16 portions, and then you flatten it, and then it will look after you cook it like that, and they serve it with some lentils or some soup or something to that effect. Serve it warm. Thank you. Okay, now I'll do one more, then I'll do one from the Ukraine. I'll do 2 more. Sorry. Food for thought, Indian bread. This is known as, it tells you, unleavened flatbread from Indian subcontinent. It's the northeast part and even down into Sri Lanka. This is the ingredients. I need whole wheat flour. Method: into the bowl in oil, add about 1/3 a cup of flour to make the dough. Knead the dough again, divide into 4 equal parts. Check if the skillet's hot enough, sprinkle a couple drops of water on it. If the water sizzles right, the skillet is ready. Place over the skillet a few seconds and you'll see it change color in different places, and you flip it. Okay. Then the last one, then we'll go to one from India, then we can talk. I mean, go to Ukraine. I'm sorry. It's the last one from India. Yeah, everyone in this class did a project, so it was really nice. Okay, in collaboration, world-class schools, project food for thought. This is made in contents, what is, how it is, who, what, why, where, and when. I'd like to thank my school for providing such a golden opportunity for the projects. What is this? It's a type of flatbread originating from South India. Ingredients, what you need. No, so it'll be a rice-based. Recipe, soak the white lentils and rice for 7 to 8 hours and grind them into a fine paste. Chop all the vegetables into fine pieces. Prepare the batter. Take the batter in a utensil. Pour the batter in a pan with the help of a ladle. Spread the batter with the ladle. Take a spoonful of the chopped vegetables and sprinkle on it. Spread the vegetables all over the pan and then cook. Kind of looks like almost like a pizza in the pan. Let's see. And cook it to the other side and cook them in. And then either eat it on a plantain leaf or on a plate with coconut chutney. Tips, one might even add finely chopped pieces of carrots, mashed peas, spinach, lettuce, cabbage, or ginger pieces also. Cook on a low flame or could, and here's some really nice pictures of that particular thing. Okay, thank you. That was the ones we have from India, and I have one from the Ukraine. Let me try to get it down here.
Michael, excuse me, we need to go now.
You need to go? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
See you next time.
See you. Thank you for the presentations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for yours. Okay, this is bread in the Ukraine. From Humanities Lyceum in Kiev. Okay, what is bread exactly? According to Wikipedia, bread is a staple food prepared from a dough of flour and water, usually by baking. A bit of history in general, bread was first food produced and first food product and produced by mankind in lots of ancient areas. Babylon, Assyria, northern Egypt, situated territories with a good climate and ground. Nowadays, Ukrainian land is very good for this aim, and therefore the first tribes that lived here started producing bread in the 9th century BC. Ukraine is a country where every tradition is associated with bread. For Ukrainians, bread is not only a material thing, it's a holy meal. And there you have a picture of the Bible, a chalice, and bread for like the Last Supper. Bake as Ukrainians do. In Ukrainian cuisine, there are more than 250 recipes for bread. Our national bread, however, is generally white and made of wheat, which is threshed very well. Our national bread is usually soft because of the dough, for it mixed well and contains a lot of water. In the olden days, Ukrainians often baked bread in stoves like these two women are showing here. Instruments in the olden days, a flail was used to thrash the wheat. Such barrels were used to mix the dough. Most scientists investigate bread as a food product, and much less attention has been paid to study the customs and rituals associated with the bread. Respect for bread has long been consolidated in Ukrainian customs. Ukrainians can still call bread holy, God's gift, Father, head. Bread covered with a towel has always been lying on the table under icons. Bread cannot be thrown into the trash. Even breadcrumbs would be collected in the palm and eaten and given to cattle or poultry. Bread which is not eaten in the field was brought home and given to children as a guest from the bunny. When accidentally a bread falls on the floor, peasants would raise him and kiss him. We cannot say that bread is bad. Ukrainians have a lot of bread recipes. The choice depends on occasion. Bread accompanies every event in people's lives. They use a loaf of bread in different rituals. Bread blessed for marriage. It could be returned to break the marriage contract, and it could also be used for funerals and wakes. If a bread turned out tasty, then the next week it will be good. Bread is also used in magic rituals. Today, such rituals symbolize a special hospitality, though in ancient it had a protective meaning. Ukrainian people came up with many tales, proverbs, legends, riddles, and stories about bread. The Ukrainian proverb says that bread is the staff of life. Where bread and water are, there is no hunger. Without bread, love dies. The Bread Museum in Kiev, there you can find different kinds of bread making traditions. The idea to create an exhibit arose in the early 1980s of the 20th century. And at that time, bread was cheap and often thrown into trash. It was decided to educate the population, first of all, children, about the main wealth of the country. To teach love to the earth, to bread, to people, to work is the main goal of the museum. The Bread Museum contains many examples of woven kolache, paska, and exhibits were collected from regions of the Ukraine. Different types of bread in the Ukraine. The soft bread is sometimes called Ukrainian. Here is some bread with oats, sometimes with prunes, nuts, and raisins are also added. It's a traditional Ukrainian bun made out of wheat dough. From its curly, and therefore it's named curdled ones in Ukrainian. Sometimes can be filled with jam, meat, cabbage, cheese, etc. Is a traditional Ukrainian bread mostly used by some family celebrations. Nowadays, usually decorated with candy, flowers, and other ornaments in our country. Usually bread breaks in Ukrainian wedding. There's a ritual of biting on a wedding. According to belief, a newlywed will bite a larger piece will be the main one in the family. The Ukrainian Easter bread is a tall cylinder form, is a top decorated with roses or cross. Typical Easter symbols or other dough ornaments. The dough is made of butter, milk, eggs, sugar, raisins, and other dried fruits. This can be brought to the church and be blessed. In the eastern Ukraine, it's called Pascha, and the western, it's called Babka. Pascha, traditional Easter bread, is very popular in Eastern European countries. Every Slavic country has its own version and classic. Now we're going to present traditional Ukrainian recipe, one our family's been making for years. As we are Ukrainians, we celebrate Easter in a traditional way. We color our eggs and we make Pascha Easter bread. On Sunday, we usually go to church, bless the Easter basket, and followed by festive Easter brunch. Ingredients. One, you can read the ingredients right there. Thank you so much. Okay, to start off with a yeast mixture in a medium bowl, combine the yeast, sugar, flour, and warm milk. Whisk and cover a plastic wrap and warm in place for 30 to 40 minutes. Sift the flour in a large bowl of food processor. Add the yeast, salt, pepper, and whisk the egg yolks. Transfer the bowl to the food processor and attach the bowl hook. Knead the bread until the small bubbles start to appear about 5 minutes. Divide the bread into 3 parchment-lined molds. Leave it to rise, and the molds are almost full. Ukrainian kolache. Kolaches are a braiding dough made in wheat flour in a ring shape and oblong forms. They are a symbol of luck, prosperity, and good bounty. They are traditionally prepared for Holy Supper, the Ukrainian Christmas Eve ritual. Most often in these forms are 3 round bread loaves stacked one on top of another. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. In the area around Kiev, the custom for a midwife to give a kolache to the family, to gifts to parents as part of fertility blessing. Kolaches are also used in funeral ceremonies as well as given to children and their godparents at baptism. Ukrainian Christmas bread. The recipe for Ukrainian Christmas bread is slightly sweet yeast bread that is braided and shaped in either an oblong loaf or a round braided loaf. 3 separate round braids are stacked one on top of each other. It is a symbol of good luck, eternity, prosperity, also featured in memorial services of the dead. You have the never-ending ring of life. This is how you make it. You make it in a small bowl. You can read the recipe right there. You could get it on the website. Ukrainian garlic bread can be used to describe a gorgeous, plump woman who is one of the funniest Ukrainian words. These are traditionally served in with red borscht. In Ukraine, it would be used regular garlic, and you cannot find wet or new garlic. It'll still be delicious. And the ingredients for the garlic bread. This stuff really looks good. Okay, we'll need to very tasting pumpkin bread, very appropriate for this time of the season. You got sesame seeds and pumpkin. Looks very delicious. Again, I suggest going to the website and try it out for yourself. These are the different lists of recipes, and I really appreciate the school in Kiev. Thank you so much. We have one more. We're waiting for the people from Canada. This is pumpkin seed bread. Pumpkin seed bread. Here's your ingredients. Wet ingredients, water, oil, sugar, all should be added in the bread maker. Quickly whisk the dry ingredients. Before putting everything in the bread maker, some pumpkin and sesame seeds are added. The bread maker is baked for 90 minutes. Bon appetit.
Hello, Mike. Nice to see you here. As you saw today, another teacher from my school is working with my students for these presentations, okay? So next month, she's going to be back with more students and maybe a video if the students can come, okay?
Oh, that'd be great. We had, oh my gosh, we had maybe 40 or 50 videos I didn't get to. And I'm just going to put them up on the website. We had a lot from India and they were really good. The problem was the technology, something messed up this morning. So we start out that way, but we should be okay. And then the school from Canada is supposed to be on in about 4 or 5 minutes. So we'll end with that.
Nice, yeah. So, were the presentations from Brazil good today? Do you
Oh
have
yeah,
any
they were very good.
suggestions?
Very clear, very good. I thought they were excellent. I liked the sandwiches. They were actually very interesting.
That's right. Okay, so thank you very much. If you want any help or any suggestions, just tell me.
Okay, I sure will. I'll send you some maybe, but I thought they were excellent.
Okay,
So
very
we'll
good.
see you next month. Thank you.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye. This is a video on hunger and food security. Let me get back a second. Hunger and food security. A nation's success depends on the health of its people. Nearly 98% of worldwide hunger exists in underdeveloped countries. What is hunger? Hunger is basically a condition in which a person for a substantial period is unable to eat sufficient food to meet basic nutritional needs. Effects of hunger. 795 million people are undernourished worldwide. That is 12.9% of the total population of the world. Asia is the continent with the most hungry people, which has 194.6 million are only Indians. Nutrition. What is nutrition? Nutrition is the science that interprets the interaction of nutrients and other substances in the food, relation and maintenance of growth, reproduction, health, disease of an organism. Good nutrition is important for a children's survival, health, and development. Well-nourished children are able to grow and learn better. Death due to hunger. One person dies from hunger every 10 seconds. Nearly 45% of deaths in children under 5 are due to poor nutrition. 3.1 million children die per year. Food security. Food security exists when all members at all times have enough food to an active, healthy life. Individuals who are food secure do not live in hunger or fear of starvation. What can we do to help the people? Donations. We can donate to charities that help undernourished. Just a little contribution can save a life. Stop waste. Wasting food is something that happens on a daily basis. Prepare the amount of food that you can consume to reduce the amount of food falling in garbage. Thank you. We'll show you one on malnutrition. Malnutrition. Comes from the French and Latin. Food pyramid. What do you think is the definition of malnutrition? There are two types of malnutrition. One's overnutrition or hyperelimination is a form of malnutrition. Intakes nutrients are oversupplied. Not enough is called undernutrition. How to spot malnutrition? A presence of two or more of these factors. One, insufficient food intake, weight loss over time, loss of muscle mass, loss of fat mass, fluid accumulation, measurably distinguished grip strength. How to remedy it? Eat 5 to 6 small meals a day, eat a bigger meal early in the day, have easy, convenient meals, eat nutritious, rich foods such as low-fat yogurt, cheese, and nuts, and prepare to freeze extra servings. What and why is a common symptom of malnutrition? Lack of protein, swollen bellies caused by fluid collecting in and around the tissues, affect legs, abdomen, irritability, and anorexia. Different types of childhood malnutrition: normal, wasted, stunted, underweight. Malnutrition statistics: 35% of the people in West and Central Africa are malnourished, 34.5% Eastern and Southern Africa, 17.4% in the Middle East, 11% in the Latin America and the Caribbean, 35.8% in South Asia. In Russia, it's 8.9%, and in East Asia, it's 9.8%, for a total of the world, 22.9%. The 10 top malnutrition countries in the world: Nigeria, Cambodia, Ethiopia, Philippines, Sierra Leone, Egypt, Chile, Swaziland, Mozambique, and Kenya. Indian population proportion of total population malnourished in 2014 is 14.55%. Look at areas all around the world. You can see that this is something it's very horrible. Mostly you'll see in Africa. However, you see a lot in Central America and Southern America, and you see here in Asia. Malnutrition, immediate causes: disease, household food insecurity, poor social care, and poor access to health care. Causes of obesity, you can see that. What do you think could be effects or symptoms of malnutrition? And provide a guess. What happens to be malnourished: decreased cardiac output, hypothermia, loss of strength, impaired gut integrity, immunity, impaired wound healing, liver fatty change, ventilation, loss of muscle. Prevention, you see what can happen. It tells you how much energy you need to have every day, how much your baby should weigh. And prevention by the government, it talks about the different things that the Ministry of the Government's doing. Very good job. Other organizations. And their goal is to obliterate poverty with zero hunger. Good health and well-being. Thank you very much. Very good job. And we'll just do one more.
We are from JP Public School, BRS Nagar, Ludhiana, India. And as per the project Food for Thought, we are going to share a bread recipe. This is an instant pudding which everybody can make. And this is Akila Dwarima and she is my co-founder. This is Satinder Malik. So we are here to share with you bread pudding. And it almost tastes like black forest. Do not know it's made of bread. It is finest There is no need to cut the edges of the bread. We just break them into random pieces, not very small and not very big. So here I am just making small pieces of these bread slices. For this, we require fresh cream, bread. We require cocoa powder, chocolate, drinking chocolate powder, some juice, and chocolate and cherries for garnishing. So now here we have broken these slices into small pieces. And she is my co-partner, Mrs. Satinder Malik. So we are here to share with you bread today. And it almost tastes like black forest. You do not know it's made of bread. It is fireless cooking, very easy for the children to make. So here we start. What we require is 8 to 10 slices of fresh bread. We will break these into little pieces. There is no need to cut the edges of the bread. We just break them into random pieces, not very small and not very big. So here I am just making small pieces of these bread slices. For this, we require fresh cream, bread. We require cocoa powder, chocolate, drinking chocolate powder, some juice, and chocolate and cherries for garnishing. So now here we have broken these slices into small pieces. After the technique, just make this quick and not eat, but just normal. And we should take care that food powder should be little less, or otherwise it gets a little bitter taste. Okay. So we are going to add some cocoa powder. Now we are going to add some drinking chocolate. This is how many teaspoons is drinking chocolate? 6 teaspoons. Chocolate. Can everybody see? Yes. And 1 teaspoon of coffee powder. And now we are going to mix all this up. We are just going to mix everything up till it turns a nice brown. Okay, mix. All of you can see what we are doing. So now we are just going to go to the next step. See, the children are mixing up the crumbs nicely so that all the cocoa powder, chocolate powder, everything is has coated the bread pieces nicely. If you feel that the color is still not there, you may add some more chocolate powder, okay? And a little bit of cocoa powder as well. If you wheel is not very round as yet. So may I add a bit of hope? No, no, just mix it, make it very small. Okay. So we are just mixing the whole thing up. There they have done it. And what we require is fresh cream, 500 grams. You can take a carton cream or any changed cream, and that cream we have beaten up with a little bit of sugar and made it into. No, we don't have to mash it. We just have to coax the bread pieces with the chocolate powder, cocoa powder, and the coffee powder. Okay? So this is the cream, 500 grams cream, which I have beaten up with a little bit of powdered sugar. Not much, because that has chocolate powder, which is quite sweet, and a few drops, just about 3 tablespoons of sugar in 500 grams. Okay? So this is how the texture of the cream is after I have beaten it up nicely. Okay? Remember one thing when you're beating cream, so that it does not burden, you please beat it over ice. In a bowl, you place some ice, and on that is another bowl in which you have to beat, so it does not burden. So now what we do is, this is mixed up nicely, everything. So now if we put it directly, it will be like a little dry. So what we do is, when we are adding the pieces here, we are going to layer it, and over this layer we are going to put some juice. Can be any juice, any fresh juice, mixed fruit juice, or any juice which you like. We are going to sprinkle on this. Okay. So now what we do is make one layer of this. This is the juice we are going to use. We are just going to sprinkle it on each layer so that it does not remain dry. About 2 tablespoons. This should be enough. Okay, so now I'm going to start arranging the pudding. This is, we put one layer of this. So now what are we going to do on this? We are going to sprinkle some juice. So you can just sprinkle some juice on it up so that okay. Now we are going to layer it with cream. Okay, this is what we done. And now we are going to repeat the process. We are going to put this again on top. And then what are we going to do next? Yes, some juice. This is basically so that it does not remain too dry. And then we are going to put the cream again. And now this is the final layer going to be. which we use up all the 8 to 10 bread slices. So the last layer, we are going to add some juice on top. And we are going to put the rest of the cream on top. Like that. You can either grate the chocolate or cut it finely, okay? Or use whatever kind of gems or some other sweet things you have. Whatever you like, you can decorate this with it. We have some preserved cherries. We are going to top it up with that. So this is what the final dish looks like. Okay, is it pretty? Yes. And I'm sure it will be delicious. So all of you are make it and enjoy this. Yes.